Yo, yo. What up? What up? Yo. What up? What up? Hey. Hey, welcome. Welcome to Benny's crib. What up? Yeah, just leave your shoes over there. It's cool. Yeah, thanks. Does that sound cool? Yo, what up? Welcome to Benny's crib. Beautiful people, summer vacation is over. We have returned here at Benny's crib. It's another beautiful night in Portland, Maine. Another beautiful chance for an interview. Currently, to the left of me, I believe the right on your screen. It's confusing me. To the left of me, we got 207 artists, someone out here in the Portland community. Bumped into them for the first time, I think, in Joe's Variety. Had to sit down and link and get some stuff on wax. Neeko Brown, how are you?
What's good, my G? How you doing, man? It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure
always,
Benny P, man.
Hey,
yeah,
love,
man.
Love.
You know how to come through, show some thug love, you know what I mean? And just, I see what you've been doing, and I appreciate what you do for the hip-hop community and the culture out here. You know what I mean? Because you need it, you know what I mean? The radio, you got the podcast, you know what I mean? It's connected.
Yeah, love, man, for real. Thank you. And I know you've been in the radio, too. We definitely going to get into that.
Yeah.
First question we got to ask everybody, though, goes back to the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
What's your first memory of hip-hop?
My first memory of hip-hop was B Street. B Street, when they had the battle, I don't know if it was like in a ballroom or something, they had the little battle in it. And I was young, but I didn't really understand it, but I just liked what they was doing. So when I was a youngin', I used to try to, you know what I mean? If emulate one of the dudes on there, he always had his hat to the side like this and all that.
Was it a TV show? Break it down for people who might not know. Was it on TV or something?
B Street, it was like a movie back in the day. Like it was on VHS and stuff.
Oh, like some
kind
of like Wild Style type of vibe?
Yeah, it was the one that came after Wild Style.
Oh,
yeah.
That's a great movie. So
Yeah.
I got to watch that. B Street.
Yeah, B Street.
Damn. You remember what age you were at?
Man, when B Street was out, shoot. I had to be at least like 8, because I was, you know what I mean, 76, yeah, because B Street came out like 85, 84, 85, I think.
So that's like pretty much in like right in the golden age.
Yeah,
man.
I was like at least like 7 to 8, you know what I mean? Because I was liking it, but I was still not really understanding it.
It's new.
Yeah, but when now that I'm old, I'm like, okay, they was really, this is where it started. You're like, back then, you know what I mean? The gang stuff was more like, all right, you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. Let's handle it on the dance floor.
I prefer that, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's how it was. Yeah, I came up in that era, man, when it was like that.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up for the most part?
I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts, the southeast side of it. You know what I mean? If you know the Prudential, the Copley area. I grew up down the street from it. I know what I mean, but that's like if you go to Boston, those are like the milestones or the monuments of places that people know about. But I grew up in the South End.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I grew up out there, was out there, That's where I learned all, the hip-hop. You know what I mean? Had my first battles, the first raps. Because before I was doing the rap stuff, you know what I mean? Back then, like I said, breakdancing was the thing. So I was doing the breakdancing, So that was the way we was battling.
Yeah,
I used to do
B-boy.
talent shows and stuff like that. And then after a while, you know what I mean? Everybody was like, yeah, the dancing is cool, but you got to do something else, bro.
Who were the
You know what I mean?
I'm a little bit removed from like that golden age Boston scene. Who are some of like the big people you remember from that time out in the city? Like any
Boston?
Any crews? Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me see. I had a list. Dart Adams was shouting some out. He's a journalist too from Boston.
Mm-hmm.
And there was just there's such a rich history down in Boston for hip hop, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and pull this list up right now, and also try and not have too much of dead air. When did you come to Maine? I guess that's a good bridge to try and gap too.
I came out to Maine and I say officially out here like 2002.
Got you.
Yeah.
What age were you at?
Like 25 when I came out here. Like 25, about to turn 26. Yeah.
Were you Just in Boston your whole life before that?
Yeah, just Boston.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
New England bred.
Yeah. Everything's Boston. I can't even wear like another team hat. No disrespect to other teams and all that. I don't unless you pay me to wear it. But you got to pay. You know what I mean? At least $6.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm just a Boston bred mother effer.
That's love, man. I think I found some of these. Almighty RSO.
Oh yeah, I know RSO.
TDS Mob.
TDS Mob.
FTI Crew.
I was locked up with one of the TDS Mob guys. The DJ.
Damn,
the DJ,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't got to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a note.
Yeah.
That's a good like story to keep. What else was there? FTI Crew. You ever heard of them?
Yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
3 Death Notes.
3 Death Notes.
And then the Ed OG and the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Ed OG, the Bulldog. See, he's the one that put it, you know what I mean, that put it over the map.
And of course, Gangstar Foundation.
Oh yeah, but you know what I mean, Gangsta, and it's crazy because a lot of people don't, you know what I mean, they don't really say the guru from Boston because I understand he got his fame in New York, but he was Boston. Yeah, he was, you know what I mean, around Boston doing this thing, doing this rap stuff, but it's just back then, and it's still, you know what I mean, back then it's just, you had to be in New York because that's where all the labels were. That's where you wanted to be with the labels.
Primo was from Houston.
Yes, you know what I mean? So he knew where it was at. He's like, I'm from Houston, but there's no labels down here like there is in New York. New York was the Mecca back then.
True.
Like, it ain't probably like how it is now, but back then, like, everything was in New York. So it was a big move for him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your hobbies as a youngin'. What did you spend your time doing when you were young?
Yeah, basically, you know what I mean? Like I said, I was doing the, you know, the break dancing stuff. And then when that got, you know, kind of corn, you know, play a little basketball, you know,
Hooping.
Play a little basketball. Then I just started writing. And then when I started writing, I just kind of took it more serious because I used to, you know, just write to write, you know. So I just started like writing and just like, you know, playing ball and just trying to stay out the BS.
Yeah. No,
that's mainly what it was.
That can be tough, man.
Yeah.
What age did you start picking up the pen?
I started picking up the pen like 13, 14 years old. But my first rap, I'm going to keep it a buck. My brother and my older cousin was helping me for it because I had went to school and people was already rapping. So I'm like, damn, I got to come to school for some bars. But I didn't really know how to put it together.
Yeah.
So they put it together for me. You know what I mean? I spit it. And then after that, since then, I was just always trying to write my own stuff. Like, always have my friends, a couple of friends, we'll write together. And then, you know what I mean, basically feed off each other. If a word don't sound right to you, you be like, okay, nah, I think you should say it this way, you know. And that's just basically what it was. Because, you know what I mean, like I said, in Boston, we was trying to be Almighty RSO back then, like Ed OG and all that. So we was like, we doing shows, so we started to do more shows because they had talent shows and all that back then. But you gotta rap, you know what I mean? So we started rapping, trying to get that more of a, you know what I mean, that more of a fan base for the rap.
Yeah. You mentioned the Boston and local cast. Were there any other MCs though at the time when you started writing that were influential to you?
From Boston?
No, like from anywhere.
Oh, just from anywhere.
Yeah.
Like I said, the first one is, you know what I mean, was Nas. Like, Nas was like, you know what I mean, because I felt like, because I'm going to be above, like, I was from a project, he's from the projects. I just felt like I've kind of related to that, you know what I mean, that Queens, because I'm from, you know what I mean, I grew up in the projects and all that nonsense and stuff, so I kind of related to him, so I felt like, yeah, and his lyrics, you know what I mean, he was nice. But before Nas, it was like KRS-One, Rakim, with Every B and Rakim, there's so many, like Big Daddy Kane, like Biz Markie, the whole Juice Crew, like MC Shan back then. Like, there was just so many rappers back then. Like, it was so much competition.
That's like pure golden age.
Yeah,
too.
and it was all originality. Like, if we was all back in that era rapping, you have your own style, you have your own, everybody had their own style. So it's like, you know, so that's what I grew up in. Like, you gotta be original. You can look up to these certain artists, but you gotta, out of that, you got to build your own originality. Yeah. So,
I think when I think of originality from that era, there's one cat who I think shifted so much of the needle, like in the '80s specifically, and it was Rakim. What was it like when he came out? Do you remember specifically?
Yeah. And the funny, every time I hear that, because you ain't the first person I heard said that. Every time I hear that, I go back to this interview DMC was saying. He was like, man, you know what I mean? Run DMC, we had it going on, we had this and that. He said, then this motherfucker Rakim came out. He said the first song I heard from him, he's like, yo, I looked at Run and was like, oh, our era is over. We're done. Like, when I first seen Rakim, I was like, wow. And it's crazy because my older brother used to like dress like him and stuff. So, you know what I mean?
He
like,
had some hard fists.
Yeah,
bro.
but yeah, but his bars was just like, whoa, like, you know what I mean? Like this another, like he definitely shifted. He shifted. Like,
and it's funny too because you had Big Daddy Kane at the time.
Yeah,
it's kind of
yeah.
a history lesson to any of the youngers at home. Big Daddy Kane, spitter. But he kind of had that fast, like, double time flow that's more reminiscent of, like, kind of, I mean, you probably know more than me for sure, but, like, it's just more reminiscent of the kind of the previous era.
Yeah.
Rakim comes in, he's like, thinking of a master plan. Everyone's like, oh, fuck, this is it.
He changed the game. They had a little, it was crazy because him and Rakim, they had a little rivalry because they understood what it was. But, I mean, that's evolution. Because without Rakim, it wouldn't have been Nas.
It's true.
You get what I'm saying? And then whoever else emulated from Rakim, like A$AP Rocky, he was named after Rakim.
Yeah, that's a great point.
You know, so it's just evolution. And I just respected that they wasn't like, you know what I mean, mad about it that they can't, you know what I mean, put their differences aside. It's hip hop's a culture that gotta keep, you know what I mean, it gotta be evolution. It just can't be stuck.
It's always moving somewhere.
Yeah, you gotta move. It gotta have motion.
That's true. So you come into Portland and up in this area in your early 20s. You had already been working on music in Boston.
Yeah.
Had you like ever recorded, or were you mostly just writing down there?
When I was recording in Boston, and my first time I recorded in Boston was in 93.
Damn, a year before I was born.
Yeah, 93. I was recording in Boston, you know what I mean? Because I had a manager, and she had like, I'll never forget the dude's name because he was an engineer. But now that I'm older, I'm like, wow, he was really looking out. Jeff Bloomstein, he was our engineer. But he had a connection with some people in Gloucester. I guess it was like Aerosmith's Guitar's house, so we was recording. That was my first place I recorded.
Wow. That's pretty cool.
What I mean? But I'm like, you know, and back then I'm thinking about how much money she probably spent on that studio time.
Did you have to pay her back?
Nah, because she was our manager.
That's true.
She was the manager. Like, you know what I mean? Like I said, she got videotapes of me and everything when I was younger. Like, you know what I mean? Like she was my manager. But it was just like I didn't appreciate it. You know what I mean? But when I got in that booth, like it was like a real like the whole like it was like, you know, like the whole real engineer setup, like the shit you be seeing on the movies.
The huge board.
Yeah, all of that.
Quincy Jones board.
Yeah, you go in the booth, you know what I mean, go in the mic's in the middle. It was like, it was real serious. And then we spit our bars, me and my homie and stuff, we spit our bars, and then dude mixed it down, and it was sounding right. I'm like, damn, we really can do something with it. But my manager, she was ahead of us, but we was just still knuckleheads. So what she did was we made a little I made a little EP off of it. You know what I mean? That's when I had my group. It was called the Kingpin Players. And I forgot what the
Had you dropped any solo stuff before that, or was that kind of?
Nah, that was my first. That was
the first thing.
Yeah, that was my
Does
first.
Does this predate the Block Records?
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yeah. This is like when I first started. Like I said, this was when they got on Wax, and she seen the potential. So we put a little EP together, put it in like Tower Records, you know, the mom and pop stores, you know, stuff like that back then.
Oh, yeah.
That was the market, you know. Yeah. You know what I mean? We did a little bit of numbers. I think we sold like maybe 1,000 copies.
Hey, that's not bad.
You know what I mean? But
man.
see, back then we thought we was like, we ain't doing nothing. This people go 5 million platinum, you know.
Yeah.
You know, but I got nominated for the Music Awards in '94, like the Boston Music Awards. Oh, so like I've been doing music before I came out in Portland. And then when in 2001 when I came home, my friend had a record deal. You know what I mean? So I always stayed in the mix with the music.
Gotcha.
So when I came out here, cause my older cousin, God rest his soul, long live the block, King D. You know what I mean? He was like, we should go out to Maine because he had came out here to Maine and, you know what I mean, met a couple of people, and he was like, they don't got no hip hop scene out there like really like that. We can, you know what I mean? make noise and stuff out there, and that's what like
you
really
seen
got,
like the Ed OGs and the
I seen
the
that
huge crew type of stuff.
I seen that, yeah. So when because I know I felt like I was like I could go out there and because I know the formula because I done seen all these. I done, you know what I mean, did shows with them and like been to their shows. Like you know, my friends got songs with them. Like I was always in the mix with it, you know. But I was just trying to expand the brand basically because with Boston, it ain't like Boston is not like how it was back then. Back then, when you did have a little bit of fame, it was a lot of hate with it, you know. Now it ain't like that. Now
they used to say it was like the hardest city to get big in was your own city.
Yeah, and it was really with that. It was because your crew might be doing music, but my crew might be bringing the crowd. And you know, being from Boston, if you know this, the hood like they're not liking that, so they're gonna it causes
city
tension.
Too. If there's like one big shit happening on one night, someone else trying to do something, it might cause a little issue.
So it's just tension because everybody knows like crabs in the bucket. Everybody trying to get out that bucket. So that's what it was. And my cousin, he was an older cat, you know what I mean. So he was like. Because he was out of Boston years before I was out of it. So he was like, nah, man, that's why you got to expand it out of Boston. Because if you get other people, fans and stuff, then you can bring it back home. Because that's how it was back then, but now it's different. A lot of artists in Boston collaborate with each other. They're doing shows together. It's not like the same knuckleheadness that was back then.
It is interesting to see how tight a lot of the younger scene of Boston is because there's such a plethora of sounds, like in Boston specifically, and then like Cambridge, Brockton, Mattapan. It's a lot of amazing music, and I'll see just producers, DJs, beat makers, MCs, groups, singers alike show love to each other across a lot of sounds. I mean, there's the I think this Saturday in Boston, it's probably interview's gonna come out after the show. But Cousin Stiz is throwing, I think, Commonwealth Fest.
Oh, that's what's up.
Free. All you gotta do is RSVP and you can show up, and it's right at City Hall downtown. And it's got like
see,
Smoke
that's another amazing because I did one show down to City Hall, but it wasn't like it was dancing. It wasn't like rapping and shit.
Yeah.
But now I seen a lot of rap shows in City Hall. I love that.
Boston
is opening it up.
Yeah, man.
I like that.
It's a beautiful thing.
That's what's up. Shout out to Cousin Stiz, man, because he's doing this one too. That's what's up.
Let's pivot back to the area we at though. I want to talk about Neeko Brown's first impressions of Portland, Maine. Or did you come to like any other part of Maine first, or was it Portland?
Well, when I got my feet wet was Portland. Like, you know what I mean? The other spots, you know what I mean, it was not like that. When I got my feet wet was Portland.
Yeah. Talk on the first impressions.
I loved it. It was like a to me, it was just like a bigger version of Harvard Square in Cambridge.
That ain't the back. I mean, especially was this 02 you said?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good comparison.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm like okay, and then a lot of stuff that we was doing in Boston, they wasn't doing out here. So I'm like, there was a lot of shows like they had the was the Big Easy back
rap
then.
night.
They had the rap night, you know what I mean, all that stuff that had it going on. It was a couple of people out here that was like you know what I mean, like there was a couple like Spose was out here, like he was out here. I remember like Sean Rise. Shane Rise, my fault. Yeah, he was in the group. Him and Sarah Violet and another dude. When I came out here, they was like in a group together. They was making noise. You know what I mean? What's my homie's name? Fuck. He's a rap dude. They used to do the rap night.
Is it Ghost?
Ghost, yeah. Ghost is another one that was out here. I got footage with Ghost when we did the Block TV out here years ago. Ghost, he was touring with the girl Felicia Cruz.
Oh man, I'm pretty bad with remembering stuff on the spot times, man.
I can't think of his name, but he was always, you know what I mean? He was like I said, he was one of like the night spitters out here. There's a lot of people out here like they had to know what I mean. I can relate, like Dre Senior was out here rapping. Then they had the who else? And it's another dude that was freestyling that's out here. Was it Saeed or something like that?
Oh yeah, Bright Boy. Saeed.
Yeah. So him, you know, it was a couple of cats out here that was doing their thing, and I'm like, all right, because everybody think Maine don't be doing hip hop, and I was like, nah. And
I really want to talk about this time because like motherfuckers have told me there was like a lot of fun house parties with a lot of basement shows or just living room shows.
Yeah, there was one show I didn't go to it, but my cousin had went to it, and it was out in Brunswick. And I guess one of the dudes, he had a house party, and he brought the dude Buddha, some dude from the Wu. Buddha, he's a big dude, you know what I mean? But he's from Wu-Tang, and they pay him like $500 to come perform, and he performed like right in the party, like the house party.
Wow.
Yeah, like that's how,
wild.
but that's the love they can see. That's, you know what I mean? In Boston, you can't do that. I'm just being a buck, like you know what I mean. Just being a buck. You couldn't do that back then in my era. You couldn't do that. Something would happen. But
someone might get offended. Someone might step on somebody's shoes on accident type shit.
You know, something that's not even worth even fighting over. You know what I mean?
Should be like that, man.
Out here, it's not like that. It was not like the parties I go to, house parties, even the regular shows. It's not that serious. People may argue with this and that, but they're like, man, I'm not even here for all of that. Let's go. You go your way, I go mine.
Motherfuckers want to party here really bad.
Yeah. Nah, it's good. You got, you know what I mean? You gotta have that, you know what I mean? You gotta let it out.
That's for sure. Yeah, speaking of partying, I smoked before the podcast. Now I'm getting that bong rib cough. It's my little podcast at this. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I'm coughing. I gotta like play it out. You don't gotta play it out. Cool, man. You might hear me cough for the next 5 minutes, but we breathing strong, man. We moving forward. When I think about Neeko Brown, mostly what I see in my research or online is the Block Records.
Yeah.
When did the idea for the Block Records conceptualize?
The Block Records, I say that officially I say in 08. Like, you know what I mean? 08 when we.
So you've been out here for a little minute then.
Yeah,
at that point.
yeah. Because before that was you know what I mean, was Black Hollywood, but he couldn't run with that because the Hollywood copyright, he couldn't run with it. So, you know, I mean, I think somebody had it. So, and then after that, it was more like the Block, you know what I mean? But they call them blocks, so you know what I mean? It was like the Block. You know, it's you know, it just fit. Plus, you know, there's just the records, and I'd always be like, come on, man, the Block Records. Nah, like sure, like Death Row Records. Like he always
was your cousin, right?
Yeah, he's my cousin, my older cousin. He always is on that, like, you know what I mean, like not like the negativity of Death Row, but Death Row, if you look at him in a positive
the ownership
aspect,
maybe.
Yeah, the ownership and the records they was shipping, like Death Row
They were
when
putting
they
units out, man.
like they was doing units.
I think I could be wrong. I want to say All Eyes on Me sold like at least like 4 platinum, 4 mil.
Yeah,
that album sold a lot of records back in the day, man.
Yeah,
like 4 million. That's a lot. Shipping,
and it was a double disc.
8 million discs, man. That's a lot of music.
Yeah, that's just still like he probably had 1 billion streams with that. Like Pac, but Pac was just what it was is what Pac was on that a lot of people's on now. Is staying in the goddamn studio. Back then, everybody couldn't stay in the studio unless you had a record deal or unless you had some money. Yeah, manager, you know what I mean? But a lot of like regular people couldn't just do that. Like now, you can just get a setup and just go.
Bro.
You know what I mean?
You're rapping to that right now.
Yeah. So, but back then, that's what you know. But it's love. You know what I mean? Like Death Row on a positive level, they just let motherfuckers know that we can really do units out here. Like people was really coming out here because they was moving like 500,000 a week at one point. Because you got to think, you had All Eyes on Me, they had the Chronic, they had Snoop, Doggy Style, they had the Dog Pound, the Rage,
Dog Food, yeah,
you know what I mean.
Lady of Rages,
yeah. All these albums and they touring.
That's got to be a 4-year gap when all them dropped tops, right?
Yeah. And then if they premiering, that's one thing I like about Death Row. They was premiering on each other's stuff. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody was like, I'm on your album, you on my album, he's on that album, we on his album. That's how you got to do it. A lot of people now, it's barely to see a motherfucker with a hype man. Like, you get what I'm saying?
The art of the hype man is very important.
Come on.
Someone just in the back going, yeah!
Yeah, like.
Or just saying the same word you end a bar with. It does a lot to the crowd. I mean,
it's like a song. When you do a song, you do the lyrics, but then you got stuff in the background like, hey, I did pull up. Yeah, I got the, you know, that's your hype man. That's your, you know what I mean? That's really your hype man. Your conscience is hyping you up to be better. But I love doing the hype man. I hype man for anybody. I know your music. I've
noticed that like the Block Records had a lot of people on the like the squad. So
Yeah,
shout out, like,
yeah.
who was right in the beginning? Who was on it? Who was like the heavy players?
The hard year when we first started out, you know what I mean? First, you know what I mean, was me and my cousin, but my cousin was OT, so he was really stay in Boston, so he really didn't rock out. So I had to kind of like, because my cousin was like, I just want to do it with you, but I'm like, nah, I'm a team player. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a team player. That's how I am. If I'm gonna eat, we all gotta eat.
Sure.
So
yeah, nobody's missing a meal.
yeah, so
I got food.
I'm like, so I need to find a team. So what I was doing, I was just out here. Had a couple of people that was out here. They know people that was rapping, and all my homies out. And I'm like, yo, you know anybody that make music? Just bring them to the studio. I want to hear them. And you know what I mean, I ran through a lot of dubs. You know what I mean? And then I caught, you know what I mean. A couple of people we started doing good with the music, but when it really got serious is when, you know what I mean. When I met like. I did a show with JDG. JDG was his first show. I think it was his first show. It was like 14 at Club Texas. It was him, but he was with these other dudes, and they all was good. But JDG was the only one that really stuck with it. And then from him, you know what I mean, he just opened me up to a lot of artists in Portland that was like good, and they was young. But my cousin's an older head. He's like, man, I don't want to hear all that.
Yeah, he's older than you.
Yeah,
That's
so he's like,
man,
yeah, he's just like, man, I don't want to hear all this because, you know, they was on that auto-tune and all that stuff. JDG wasn't, but the dudes that was doing the music with me, you know what I mean?
What is this, like 2010, 11? What year is this?
Nah, this is like 2000, like, when I really, because I was doing music, but really when I was getting serious with it, I say like, yeah, like 2013.
Gotcha.
2000, I'd say, matter of fact, like 2010. Now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, like 2010.
That's still like SoundCloud. The internet's out back then.
Yeah,
still
yeah.
A lot
They had
easier than
that.
5 years ago.
This is when Dat Piff was popping.
R.I.P. to Dat Piff, man. What
like,
the fuck?
yeah, you know Dat Piff was that John right there.
I have that green little Dat Piff logo is like in my like pineal gland. I think I'll close my eyes and see it. I'm like,
the crazy part, I seen it, and it was like we're about to be done in like 10 days. So if you got music on, you better. I had to download so much music.
That's a
off
wild thing
that
to think
shit.
about. There's a lot of artists probably like yourself from back in that era. You probably gone through laptops, hard drives,
bro. Cassette. I say it in one of my lyrics. You know what I mean? It'd be like, you know what I mean? I've been doing this for a long, long time. You know what I mean? I've been like basically like saying before online cassettes and CDs.
You were rapping before Rakim was out, bro.
Yeah, like you know what I mean? But I just didn't have the means to get in the studio. And I think what it was is, and another thing, I probably thought I was ready for the studio, but the universe was telling me now it wasn't. And I'm gonna be a buck. When I first started going to the studio, we had met a producer. He was DJ Reese. Shout out to DJ Reese. He's Bobby Brown. He was Bobby Brown's DJ back then. So, but he made beats.
Bobby Brown, New Edition from.
Yeah,
I forget that. I'm sorry to interrupt.
I
always think that's so
Shout
wild.
out to him. That's my favorite.
Yeah. New Edition's the first boy band ever, and they from Boston. Bro.
Yeah, but the crazy part, the dude Ronnie DeVoe's from my projects in Cathedral. His the manager Brooke Payne is from my project Cathedral. And you know what I mean?
Did they ever like pop up in the hood and shit?
They popped up in the hood a couple of times, but
was it like celebrity status when they were up in there?
I mean, to the kids and stuff, but like I said, Ronnie DeVoe, he was like they like so down to earth, like it wasn't like that. You know what I mean? Because it was like, you know what I mean? Because his aunt Kim, her name is Kim DeVoe. She used to come through, show love, and you know what I mean? He used to be
Belle Biv DeVoe.
Yeah,
you're blowing my motherfucking mind, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
New Edition at 5, Belle Biv and DeVoe were 3 people from New Edition. They broke apart. So if you heard the song Poison, that's going back to New Edition. That's going back to Boston.
The 90s, man. They did a lot for, you know what I mean? Like that hip hop, that shit. They was on that hip hop, smooth out on the R&B tip. You know what I mean?
Kind of like New Jack Swing. Almost.
Yeah. Because Teddy Riley was that dude. Yeah. He was back then. Teddy Riley was making
my shoulders like that.
And the crazy part, who Teddy Riley was making beats for back in the day was Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh.
Lottie Dottie.
Yeah. And he made the song The Show.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but Teddy Riley was like 14 years old.
Slick Rick and Dougie Fresh had a lot of rhythm though.
Yeah.
And they kind of could like, Slick Rick's got one of my favorite just track
best storyteller. I was listening to him earlier, right?
The artist storyteller. I still be playing like a teenage lad.
Yeah, that was the joint though. That was the joint.
Wait, were you a teenager when that came out?
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. I was boo hugging on the back of the bus. Like
Gonna tear down y'all.
You know what I mean? With my Walkman on, you know what I mean?
Teenage.
My girl got the, you know what I mean, the greasy joints, you know what I mean, all that lined up. Like, I was on my teenage love joint.
So
like,
good, bro.
On the phone all night, you know what I mean? Your mother like, get off the goddamn phone. Do your homework, like.
Oh, and that's when you could have a long distance call if it's too far away, right? You run up the phone, bro. I'm playing Slick Rick over the phone. My boo gotta hear it. She don't have the record yet.
For real.
Man, one thing that unifies us is the fact that we both have WMPG as a part of our hip-hop, repertoire in a sense. I'll be on the radio now. RhymeBeat Radio every Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern. It's a plug. You had 2 shows on the radio all the time, though, right?
Yeah.
Because the Block Records, it was you were doing shows, you were making music, but you also on the radio. You had a whole bunch of
we was trying to build that the media. You know what I mean?
Kind of shit that I'm doing now, way before I was even around. Like
that was my cousin. That was my cousin's dream. See, me, I was more the music. Like I want my music to be heard, but he was more like I want to be a empire. I want to be marketing. I just don't want to. You know what I mean? I just don't want to do music. I want to be TV. His main thing was TV and radio because that's his era he grew up in. TV and radio never failed.
He was like the businessman.
Yeah, so basically, you know what I mean? I was like, you know what I mean? I was the scout and get the talent for the music. He'd be like, yeah, I like the music, but we got to incorporate it with my TV. So, you know what I mean? So what we did was we just came to a happy medium. You know what I mean? You do the music, I do the TV stuff. You know what I mean? This is how, you know what I mean? You know who's out there. You know what the fan base, the crowd is out there. So that's going to get more people to watch the TV, get more people to get the merchandise. Because we had stores. We had stores out here.
What were your stores at?
I had a store in Biddle. You know what I mean?
Shout out Biddleford.
Yeah, I had a store out in Biddleford. I had 2 out in Portland, one on Cumberland and Washington Ave. Yeah, Cumberland and Washington Ave, right? Cumberland and Washington Ave. Then I had one on Market Street.
You remember the rents for those?
But the crazy part is, the rents was crazy, but I had a landlord that was showing love.
But still, like, compared to now, it's probably like, if someone says, yo, I got an office on Market Street, I'd be like, you making bread. If someone's like, I got an office on Market Street, hold up. Actually, we got to go to the office on Cumbie in Washington. I'd be like, yo, you got a penthouse on that cruise ship over there, buddy? Like,
it was, back then, my landlord was just showing love.
He was finessing.
Yeah, he was, him and my cousin just had a bond, and I think he just believed in my cousin's vision, and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna give you a chance, and that's one thing I can say out here in Maine. I always respect Portland. I know a lot of people don't like who he is or whatever, but I'm gonna still shout him out. It's Joe Soli. Like I swear, you know what I mean. Everybody hates Joe.
Landlord?
That was my landlord.
I'm gonna hold my tongue. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that he's the one that, you know what I mean? I'm being a buck, and everybody be like, "Oh, that's your landlord. I hate that man."
Wow.
I says, "Joe," but I says, "I'm gonna be a buck." We used to be late on the rent a lot. You know what I mean? We used to be cussing us out. Oh, y'all need to get the fuck up. I'm like, yo, we're having by Friday. If you don't got my money by fucking Friday.
I'm like, it's like pre this moment, post this moment in the pod. I'm usually pretty astute for words. I'm just gonna laugh at that. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at you.
I'm just being a buck. Yeah, that was the one. He was the one.
Oh man.
The crazy part, ain't nobody ever said, "Oh, that was a nice thing he did." Is like,
I ain't never heard somebody say that before.
Yeah. But he showed love. You know what I mean?
I guess you never know who people are in all moments, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, him and my cousin just had some relation. Like I don't know.
Because it was strong on him, man.
I don't know I think he just something he liked about him. He's just something he liked about him. He's just like, motherfucker, so Ron. That's my cousin Ron. He's like, Ron, motherfucker Ron, man. You like my fucking son. You lucky I like to look at you like my son. Like, he's like, Joe. Yeah. He love you, Joe. Yeah, man. I had a lot of yeah.
God damn, bro.
Yeah.
All right, let's go back to WMBG before my brain rewires to a different part.
Yeah.
Did you have one show called Motivating Music?
Motivation. See, that was my personal joint because what it was, there was a lady named her name was Lisa, and when me and my cousin signed, because back then you could just sign up for the show. You come through, take the class, pay like $35 or whatever.
Yeah.
Take the class, test whatever, and then you get your own radio show. So my cousin, he was like, we got to get on the radio. And I'm like, bro, all right, but we got to get on the radio at a nice time. Nah, you can't worry about the time, dog. So we know me back and forth. Bung, 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 bung. He's like, yo, there was like, hey, there's a slot opening. Fucking, what was it, 2 to 4? I think it was 2 to 4 because every 2 hours, right?
Yeah, it's either 90 minutes or 2.
Yeah, I think it was like, so I think it was like, that was the shift, but it was like Thursday going into Friday morning. My cousin's like, I'm on it. I'm like, bro, who's going to be listening to 4 to 5 in the morning?
And that was the block radio.
Yeah, that was the block radio. He got it going. We was going on me. And then that shit just blew because it's crazy to say it this way, but it was hitting everybody in the county. It was hitting all, I don't know.
In prison.
Yeah, and it was probably hitting the prisons. I don't know how far it reaches. But every week we was getting 20 letters. So the chick Lisa's like,
from the county prison?
Yeah, because they wanted song requests.
Or county jail?
Yeah, my cousin was like, yo. No, because at first he didn't know, and then when we found out, we was just going out. I don't even know where we was at. We was just out, and the dude was like, "Yo, hey, yo, Block, that's you on the radio." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, dog, yo, my G, I love you, man. You helped me get through my business." And my cousin's like, "What?" He's like, "Nah." He was like, "Nah." He was like, "Nah." That radio station y'all got be jumping. Everybody in the prisons and the radio be listening to it every Thursday. He said it's like going to the club. And then when we heard that, we said like going to the club. So we started going super hard. So my cousin, you know him, he's the mastermind. Yo, you want a request? You can send requests, 5-song requests. Whoever letter gets here, we'll read your letter, 5-song requests, and that's how we got our playlist.
Yep. He got the
he was
the mind,
the fucking
bro.
maniac.
He had the vision, man.
Bro, all day. That's why he wanted an office.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to sit somewhere and just think.
Damn. Yeah.
Like but see, now I'm like, I didn't pay attention to it because I'm just used to him being like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, he's just on this big head shit. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But he was just thinking like, yo, because
Damn,
he knew how to attack Maine. That's why he's like, Paul, he's like, yo, he's the one that said, he's like, yo, because before I came out here, he was like, it's like a little Harvard Square. And I'm like, a little Harvard Square? Because I used to live in Brighton. You know what I mean? On the other side of, if you go over the bridge, I was fucking Harvard. I used to live right in Brighton. And then I'm like, motherfucker, he's right.
All the brick and shit up in this area really does look like Cambridge. I want to go back to the letters, though, man. So you're saying you're getting 20 letters a week from the county for song requests.
Starting, though. 20 starting.
What'd it go up to?
Probably the most, I think, 50.
A week?
Yeah, because
for how many weeks in a row?
I'd be 100. I don't even know. It came to the point when the lady wanted to give me my own show. But what I did was I was trying to get the ladies in the morning motive. I was trying to get the people going to work.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, my cousin got
that was
the
the
club.
R&B show for the morning.
Yeah.
That was like the block's morning stuff. The block late night was.
So it was like, this is your wake up music.
You got people like getting all happy going to work listening to Maya and shit, and then they getting turned listening to like the Locks or something like at 4 in the morning. That's pretty ill. I mean, I respect that though. There is so much range in this hip hop culture and music that like, it's crazy, but like in the 90s, if you were playing Method Man, you're probably playing Mary J. Blige, right?
Yeah, playing the All I Need joint. Yeah. But then the late night, my cousin could play Bring the Pain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's just so, I'd be playing Bring the Pain on RhymeBeat radio, bro. I love that joint. I do like a 30-minute block at the end of every show, like throwbacks.
Yeah.
You gotta remember the past. But that's just special, man, because I've gotten like messages from people in prison who actually listen to RhymeBeat radio too, and like that's probably touched me more than like any award or accolade.
Yeah,
you don't know what
really
someone's
out
going
there.
through in the pen, and there's just so much shit you could say about the incarceration system in America, and maybe I'm not the person specifically to say it, and that's why I look to organizations like, you ever heard of the MC No Name? She's from Chicago.
I never heard of
her.
her.
Yeah, she hard. She rap really well, but she has this thing called No Names Book Club, and every month I want to say they send books
to different
members
prisons
who are incarcerated. Yeah,
that's what's up.
And
you gotta know, book is money in jail, man. Book is money.
So I was, I'd be thinking about like that should be everywhere. I mean, can you like donate books to Maine jails?
Yeah, you could do all of that.
There there's got to be an approved list though, or some shit, right? They probably they got their.
They gotta have to look through it, make sure you ain't putting nothing through it. like
could you put like
smuggle
an
something.
Asada Shakur book in a prison, or they're gonna?
Yeah, they're not gonna, you know what I mean? They're not gonna be mad about that.
Oh, really?
Nah.
That's kind of cool.
It was to the, like I said, with the prison thing, with us doing the prison, it got, because they used to get calls, because the prison people used to call, but we can't answer the phone, but people used to call, you know what I'm saying? But it got to the point with that block thing that we was trying to set up something to do the block radio in the prisons.
Like, go into it.
Yeah,
live recorded.
Yeah, we was gonna
there.
do that. You know what I mean? But you know, the crazy situation that happened at my studio kind of messed up a lot of things. And me being on motivational music on the morning time, the chicks heard about it, so I was getting letters from the chicks. You know what I mean? In the morning, so that's how we was. It ended up. We didn't want it to be like that, but that's how it ended up happening. Cause chicks be like, oh, that's why a lot of people know. Oh, you're Neeko Brown, because I was playing the R&B in the morning every Monday morning. Monday motivation, cause you know Monday, you already know you need some type of motivation on Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that was my, you know. And my cousin was like, all right, you Monday, we do Thursday. But the chick Lisa, she was the radio, the coordinator. She was like, you need your own show, Neeko. And I'm like, what? She's like, nah, I think you really need your own show. But she says, I don't want you. But she was like, I don't want you to be on that wow hip hop shit. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, all right, I got you. Because I grew up with that. Because my mother spent R&B. I grew up with that. I was just, that's what, you know what I mean? Before there was the rap, I used to, you know what I mean? My mom was playing R&B stuff back then. The dramatics, stylistics. Just, you know, playing all that before I got introduced to rap. So it was like, all right, that's like my backhand.
Yeah, man. It's all just influential black music at the end of the day.
Really. Yeah, man. Listen.
Some of the most important shit ever created, man.
Hell yeah.
Well, shout out WMPG, shout out community radio, shout out people in the pen going through it. Fuck white supremacy, fuck the prison system. That has to be said at any given point in the podcast. Shout out what you and your cousin was doing too. That's real cool, man. And what was the woman's name who did the Monday show? Lisa?
Yeah.
Lisa. Shout out Lisa too.
Yeah.
I just love hearing about that shit, man. Let's get into some rapid fire questions.
Let's do it.
But beforehand, this might be like not as rapid fire, so I'll just ask. What's like you think the biggest lesson or takeaway you taken in all your like kind of experiences, maybe even in Boston and out here? Because I mean, you've been doing it. When were you born? What year?
76.
76.
8/11.
Whoa, centennial, man.
This crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. My birthday's the same day as hip hop's. 8/11/76.
The Cool Herc birthday.
Yep.
Oh wow.
With the, you know, I didn't know this till I was like in my 40s. I didn't even know it, but because I wasn't really, you know what I mean. Then my homies, he's like, dog, you're born to do music. I says, why you say that? He says, yo, your birthday's on fucking Q Hugs. I was like, oh shit, for real? But I didn't know that.
Damn, that's pretty cool, bro. Yeah, man.
So I may not be the one on the front line, but I'm here to be that, to push the culture. That's what I know what I'm here for.
So throughout all of that, then, like, what is like maybe the biggest lesson you've taken away? Can you think of one? It's kind of a tough question, you know.
Yeah, one lesson that I took away that I think that really, me going away for 4.5 years to prison, that it helped me out on one side of this situation, but on the other side with the music and all of that, I just always, you know what I mean, it's always gonna be my regret, because I feel like that shit was my changing point. Because back then I was doing music heavy. Like I was in Boston heavy. I was on the radio in Boston. I was on 88.9 RBB. I was on that shit fucking 3-4 times a week, because I had a whole crew. It was like 8 of us, because that was my shit. I was like, I want to be the Woo, so I put a crew
when you
together.
were recording up in that
Sacrum Sounds, in Gloucester, Mass. Me and my homie SP was going up there, and then it got to the point we was going to Sacrum Sounds on Newberry Street, because like I said, my lawyer, like my manager back then, she was playing with some bread. Now that I think about it, because that had to be at least $100 an hour back then, easy.
Back then, man.
Yeah, back then,
like
because
now,
fucking man. That's what Edo G, that's what all these heavy hitters was recording at, but. I think me going to prison for the 4.5 years, that was like I feel like if I didn't go to prison, I think I probably would have been a little more, because I would have learned more. I'd have been out there, because it was getting more like back then I was doing the hip hop. It was people were showing love, but when I went in them 4.5 years, I've seen the change. And when I came home, I was like, damn. So that's, to me personally, I think that's what my the turning point was. I think that's the real regret, because I was really doing the hip hop shit for real. Like that was the love. And I was on the radio. My man just shout out Papa D. I don't even know where Papa D's at, but if you ever heard of Land Speed Records, he was part of that. My man Papa D, he was the first one to give us beats because he was on the radio, the Cars Radio 88.9 back then. Like, you know what I mean? But shit happens for a reason. So
you came back to Maine and started doing.
Then I met, you know what I mean? Like I said, I met a funny part is I met a person. Me and my cousin met a person in Maine because we used to play. That's what my shit. I used to play ball in prison ball. Like, you know, you got killed at wreck. You know what I mean? You got to break your bid up. But he was out here. He's like, yo, man, you go to Maine, man. You'll love it out there. Y'all do the hip hop. Because they used to come to me and my cousin we shared a cell. So they used to come to our cell, and every time they go to our cell, me and him was having a meeting about something. He's like, yo, what we could do if we do this. And they're like, yo, what are y'all in here doing? What the fuck y'all trying to conspire to get out of the prison? It's like, nah, he already had in his head. He already had, like, yo, in the crazy part, a lot of shit that he said, we really fucking did. Like, we really did. He was like, yo, when we get out, I prompt watch, we're going to be doing this, that. And it really happened. Like, that's why I say he's my dog. Like, that's my dog. Like, he showed me a lot. He showed me a lot. Real shit.
Love. We've been talking for 45 minutes, man, so guess
my
we
fault,
can.
because you know I can talk a lot.
No. Well, this ain't even. I mean, I got like long. When I used to do it on like Zoom and shit, and COVID, do for like 2 hours sometimes.
Oh,
what am I doing? I can't do this, man. You gotta keep it tight. You gotta keep people like to always be learning something from the sound bites in a sense. So let's go to the rapid fire then.
Yeah.
You a hooper, man. So what's your favorite basketball jersey?
Favorite basketball jersey? I'm gonna be a Buck. Everybody love Jordan. My favorite basketball jersey, my favorite player was Dominique Wilkins, 21.
The red Atlanta.
Yep. And it's crazy because I could probably never wear it because I would never wear Never State, but I like the jersey.
I have so many other jerseys from like non-Boston teams. I got most is Boston, most is Celtics.
Yeah. I'm gonna just be a Buck. Like, you know what I mean? I love the jersey, but I don't, you know what I mean? I got a Kobe jersey at the house. I have for like 3 years. I still ain't put this shit on. And Kobe, I love Kobe because, you know what I mean? He's a Leo legend, and I'm a Leo, so I love Kobe, but
It's only Celtics drip.
Celtics?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right. Oh, I wasn't, of course, I was saying you only rocking Celtics.
Yeah.
I guess what would be your favorite Celtics jersey?
Right now?
Ever. Like,
Ever?
I'll
I
throw
got
mine
a couple, though. Can I say a couple?
The green and gold ones that used to rock back in the Pierce era. Those alternates.
I like those.
Those are my faves.
I like those. I like those joints. And I like the new ones. I like the black with the green on it. You know what I mean?
The all black alternate with the green. That's
yeah.
I copped the Jaylen Brown jersey.
See, and I'm slipping. I'm Neeko Brown. I'm supposed to have to cop the Jaylen Brown.
I copped that back in like 2018, man. I was like, JB gonna be
JB
something,
gonna be that dude. He's a beast.
I just won, bro. I still can't. I'll be like chilling. I don't know if
I gotta find his sneakers. He got the new sneakers that came out.
Celtics legit won. Still be like shocked, man. It kind of pinches my mic.
Nah, you already see they doing the preseason right now, cracking them.
They might went back to back, bro. Knock on wood, man.
Hell yeah, we need it. Speed that. We need that.
We getting way off. This is rapid fire, man. My fault. What's your go-to Portland food spot?
Oh, go-to Portland food spot? I'm gonna be a Buck. Shit, I ain't been out here for a second. If I go to anywhere, I say high roller. Even though I probably don't eat half of the stuff that's there. But nah, man, they make burgers and fries, so we good.
Yeah, they got a good chicken sandwich.
Nah, but shout out to high rollers. I go, you know what I mean? I rock out with them.
And shout out to Yardy Ting. This podcast is sponsored by Yardy Ting. So shout out.
My sister love y'all, so she be ready to get some DoorDash from y'all on Friday.
Yeah. Yardy Ting got the new location. I got the whole first floor of the public market.
Yeah.
He running and getting the spicy Cajun fish sandwich on cocoa bread. They got the Jamaican market with all the snacks now.
Yeah.
I could talk about this. Could be a Yardy Ting podcast, bro. I'm straight up.
Shout out to them. My sister love y'all.
What's your favorite time of day to record?
I'm gonna be a Buck. Can I have two more than one?
Yeah. Fuck it.
It got to be early in the morning, or probably like late night, like coming from if I was out hanging, if I was out partying or whatever.
You get that kind of that
just
late night inspiration.
Yeah.
Who's an artist you want to still see live?
I got a lot, but our first one is Nas.
That's a feasible. He be touring and doing shows and shit. You could definitely see him in Boston, probably.
Hell yeah.
I'll be wanting to see Sade.
Sade's
really
a beast.
Bad.
Yeah, she's a beast. She still look good. Oh man,
don't stop.
Sweetest
I got a
taboo.
Sade poster on that door.
Yeah.
We can look at it later.
Oh man, listen, I need to get the shirt or
Yeah,
something.
Sade is. I just picture myself like 300 milligrams deep of THC and like a nice clean outfit, smelling good, sitting maybe by myself with someone, hopefully by myself, just at a table, front row, Sade in a little club. That's my dream concert, to be straight with you.
Man, that's classic.
The ether of life. Yeah. What's your favorite verse you've ever spit?
For myself or anybody?
You.
For me? Oh man, I got kind of. Sheesh. My favorite verse? Damn, I got a couple of them. You want me to spit it?
Spit a couple of bars of it. Yeah. Put you on the spot.
Oh man.
You don't have to, Don.
Nah, you good. You good.
No pressure. I don't really. This would be the first verse spit on Benny's Crib.
Let's do it. I say, as the world keep turning, I'm taking straight shots off the top shelf bourbon. It got my chest burning like this kush rolled up in his back with bourbon. When it hit the trees, eyes turn green. I'm Eric Sermon. Like him in Paris, mission about making dollars. It's a blessing where I came from nada. Growing up in the jacks raised by my mama. My older bro had to play the role as my father. He was hard on me, but the streets, they made me harder. Taught me the code of honor, never to be a squatter. Before the honor, never tell on your partner. Even in hot water, you don't crack like a shell on lobsters.
Lobsters. Hell yeah, man. Is it the Demon Dog joint?
Huh?
Is a song you did with Demon Dog.
Oh yeah, the Exxon joint. Yeah.
Is that the same joint? Or is that a different joint?
That's Money to the Bank, but I got
Money
the
to
Exxon
the Bank.
joint.
Exxon. I remember you in the Exxon talking about gas, right?
Yeah,
my mom was connecting the gas box to that. Hell yeah! Shout out Neeko Brown. It's hard to rap on the spot, bro. It's really hard.
I can kick the Exxon too.
Yeah, let's turn to a freestyle podcast real quick. Off top, man.
Good luck.
What's your second favorite cooking spice? Second
favorite? Gotta be black pepper.
Shout out black pepper.
Yeah. A plain Jane.
If you could give your 20-year-old self any advice, what would it be?
Take your career serious.
Who would play Neeko Brown in the biopic of your life?
With age. Cause my nephew could play me in my 20s.
Yeah. We'll do it in the young spot.
Yeah.
Get the family member a check. All right, last question. Rapid fire. Gas stations or corner stores?
Gotta represent the corner stores.
Exactly. I was thinking.
Mom and pops, the bodegas.
I was driving by the gas station, the Irving, right, and they had like all these deals and shit, and I was like, damn, I feel like gas stations are kind of like new fast food joints. Like I can't even go to a gas station anymore to like just get like snacks and shit.
Be a necessity. They got hot dogs, all types
they
of
got like
shit.
meals. The corner store is the best. You go and talk to somebody you know. Mm-hmm. Motherfucker, what are you doing? And then you can go and get like a Gatorade or get like a little electrolyte, a little salty snack. Maybe get some spots have like the sandwiches and shit. So I do love a good corner store, and the music's way better in corner stores and gas stations.
Yeah, because you already know what corner store you in. You can be in the hood joint, you can be in the Spanish joint. I just remember the corner stores as a youngin', you know what I mean? Going there, get the the 25-cent bag of chips, teeny juice, 25 cents. You go in there, ball with $1, $2, you balling.
Yeah.
You know, it ain't like that no more.
You can't ball with. You can't ball. You can.
You know what I mean? You can pick the ball up.
You can't ball with a 10. If you were really trying to get like 5 things, you probably couldn't even get a 10.
Nah, man, listen.
Be fucked up, bro. R.I.P. the economy, man.
Hell yes.
We're reaching the end of the podcast here. We've talked a lot about the past and the present, but what's next for Neeko Brown? Is there any music, shows, anything you want to talk about?
Right now, I got to put some shows in action right now. I'll probably do a couple of more. I'm trying to get a couple of more shows out here in Portland. But then I'm going to try to take it, go to New Hampshire, do some shows out there, do some shows in Boston. I mean, try to get into some shows in Providence. I mean, I got a couple of people in Connecticut, see if I can go out there, rock out on a couple of shows. But I kind of just want to, like, right now, expand the brand, you know what I mean? So that's why I'm trying to get back into, like I said, my cousin, his stuff was the Empire, like I know I got the music, you get what I'm saying? But now it's time to get back to the media. Like, I got to get back into doing the radio, doing the podcast, like getting the TV show, doing, you know what I mean? Basically interviewing people, you know, showing, you know what I mean, from the fan base and the love that I got from here all through New England, because I'm strictly New England first before I go anywhere else.
Yeah, shout out New
You know
England,
what I mean? You already know, NEN. New England Networking. That's what it's about. I might make a shirt.
Yeah. Make another hat, man.
You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man. I'm trying to think about any other questions. I don't really have much left to say. Socials, emails, anything. Where can people reach Neeko Brown?
You already know. You can hit me up on the FBZ, Neeko Brown. You know what I mean? Hit me up on my IG, Neeko Brown 101. Snap, Neeko 101 Brown. Go back to Facebook, the Block Media, the Block Music Group, SoundCloud, still Neeko Brown, SoundCloud, you know. Am I missing anything else? One thing, I don't got the Spotify like that. I'm be a buck. Oh yeah, the YouTube. I can't forget the YouTube. Neeko Brown, Neeko Space Brown 101 DBM. That's my YouTube page right there. I would love to show the love, you know what I mean? I've been getting a lot of love on that, so you can hit that up as well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And another shout out, I got to shout out my man Paparazzi 207. That's my video guy, my pen, you know what I mean? My picture guy, you know what I mean? He be having me looking spicy icy, you know what I mean? So it's all love.
Hell yeah. I realized I forgot one rapid fire question too, and it kind of ties into that. Is there someone from the 207, like anybody in the 207 scene you want to shout out?
Oh, I could shout out a couple, or
yeah, why not? Yeah. Anybody?
You already know the 207 scene. You already know. First off, I gotta shout out my homie JDG, aka the Oyster Guy. That's my guy. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. You know what I mean? Dave Gutter, they doing big things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Gotta shout out Spose because you know what I mean. He showed another way. He showed people that there's a fan base out here. You get what I'm saying? I shout out my homie Demon Dog. You know what I mean? Make it hit always, baby. Shout him out. You know what I mean? My man Marky J. My man Sativa Steve. Shout out Monday of the Minds. Shout out Free Street for showing love. My man Lee.
R.I.P. Free Street.
No more Free Street?
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, damn. Sorry to fucking break the news to you right now. Free Street's up for lease, Brody. I drove by it for lease. I don't want to assume that the cavern would be a part of that, but you would think, right?
No, yeah, they ain't gonna fucking do the top and then not the bottom. Wow.
Yeah, man. It's been happening. I mean, there's been hella businesses, restaurants closing down. That's real tough.
Man. So yeah, that's
sorry.
Bad.
Yeah, hey, this sucks, bro.
That is wild.
It's whack as fuck. Yeah.
that left me speechless.
Hey, you got a good sense of humor to be laughing about it, laughing through the pain.
Cause it is some pain. I'm like, whoa, you hit me. I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, there's not a lot of DIY spots. You could do like pop-up shows and shit, kind of on your own accord, usually, you know. So, hey.
Damn.
It'll be like that. Let's move on to the last question, maybe. Yeah. All right, Neeko Brown. Thanks for talking about your endeavors here throughout New England in this hip hop world, in Portland, in this hip hop area. We're gonna end with the question we end all podcasts with: where will Neeko Brown? Well, I'm lying. I don't ask everybody where you will be, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The last question is pretty much: where will Neeko Brown or anyone be 1 year from now?
Gonna be 1 year from now. We probably be setting up another podcast to do it, if not earlier than that. You know what I mean? Everything in motion. I have, you know what I mean, have the media start to jump because the music's there. Let's have the media jumping, you know what I mean? Just elevation, constant elevation, motivation, setting them goals, you know what I mean? That's the one thing you got to do. You got to set a goal. You just can't just go off of, I'm going to do it on this day. You really got to just put it down on paper and be like, I got to fucking reach this fucking goal and do it. You know what I mean? And expand that brand, you know what I mean? And like I said, represent the hip-hop culture. And I'm, like I said, NEN, New England Networking, like, this what it's about. Like, we got to, you know what I mean, I gotta
Facts.
represent my region first before I can take it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because I know there's a lot of love, not just in Maine, the whole New England, and we just gotta keep bridging the gap.
1,000%, man. Especially now too. It's like winter's coming. You see shit be closing down. This is like a really important time to go to shows and buy like local artists' music. It's nights where it's like, damn, man, I don't really want to go to that show. Just pop up, pay the $10 at the door, give your homie a dap or a hug, get a polar seltzer and leave. I do that so often, man, just because I'm showing face, I'm showing love, and I think about what the scene is, and it's cool like to promote. It's cool to go on like our screens and our phones and shit, man. But what really makes a scene, it's pulling up and being there. It could be in person, talking like this, chopping it up, learning about each other. It could be just going to catch a show of artists you know, or hopefully artists you never heard before, and you can connect with music in a new way. And it just hurts, man, to see national white America bullshit infiltrate Portland at such an exorbitant rate, and it's happening everywhere, man. And if we don't go to shows that it's putting on for hip hop, it's putting on for black culture, it's gonna keep getting pushed out the city.
Yeah.
And I hate to even say that shit, but you gotta say the truths in America, because this post-Reaganism world, that's how it should be. And as Neeko Brown been saying, I'm just gonna keep it a buck. That's really it, man.
Ben
so
Frank.
Shout out hip hop, man. Shout out the music. Shout out Yardy Ting for sponsoring this podcast. Please go run up a big fat bill up in there, man.
My sister will be on Friday.
They open Tuesday through Saturday. Shout out Willow Picks for the amazing video production and lighting and everything, professionalism.
Yeah.
Shout out Shot by Tristan for the introduction to this podcast. Shout out Soto on the instrumental. And shout out especially y'all for listening and tuning in, man. We had summer off. We back. I hope y'all listening and enjoying it. Show love. And again, man, fuck white supremacy. Peace.
One.